Hello everyone, welcome to Assetto Corsa Competizione for the latest round of the Coach Dave GT3 Sprint series on Low Fuel Motorsport. Today we're at Barcelona and it's the same old story for me in ACC. I've qualified terribly, down in 21st position with a time of 1:45.8. That's more than 1.5 seconds slower than the pole position man, Davi Menezes. So as always, we've got it all to do here as the lights go green. We're starting on the inside and I doubt very much whether I'm going to have the room to be able to get over to that left-hand side. So we're going to stay on the inside into this tricky first section at Barcelona and just hope that we don't get tagged from behind. It's always a hot spot for incidents, this first corner at Barcelona, and it's getting really tight in here already with 3 wide on exit. We've just got to hold our nerve on the inside. No, we have been tagged. I'm trying my best to keep control of the car. We're out onto the grass. We have managed to keep it in a straight line but we've lost all our positions. We're rejoining at the very back of the pack. How frustrating. But it looks like we're going to get one position back straight away because there was a BMW facing the wrong way in the middle of that hairpin. That was Andrew Priadko, who started from 18th on the grid. Now we've got a Ferrari on our inside. That's Jonas Google, so we can turn in to make this apex. We've got to leave space for that red Ferrari. And speaking of red Ferraris, there's another one really off the pace on the inside. Goebel manages to squeeze between the pair of us. Yeah, that was Paul Farah who we both got past there, so Farah must have come to grief somewhere. And the leaderboard's got us in 23rd position out of 26, so yeah, not a good start at all. We were really unlucky coming out of that first section. I knew we were 3 wide and I knew I had to hold my line tight on the inside. I did that, but I couldn't help what was going on around me. We just got collected and it sent us out onto the grass. Just having a look up the inside of Goebel there. It wasn't really on the pass, but we can put him under a bit of pressure. Meanwhile, a few cars further ahead, there is a right scrap going on, and we've lost one of the participants. That's Juan Antonio Fidesz Mariano getting sent out into the wall. Meanwhile, we get a little bit too close for comfort to that red Ferrari of Goebel in front. We almost rear-ended him there, but we just managed to avoid the contact. And Goebel's wide exit turn 1. He's lost control and he's surely going to take us out. Oh, we needed the reactions of a cat there to get onto the grass and avoid being collected. So lap 1 ended as it started with complete chaos. Let's check out some of the highlights. We'll start with turn 1 and we'll see if there's anything at all I could have done differently to avoid contact here. I knew I was 3 wide at this point and I'm holding as tight a line as possible. Oh, it's actually contact between the 2 cars outside of me that caused me to get hit. Now let's ride on board with the driver right behind us, Boris Berninger. He'll get the best view of it. Now watch the 2 cars to the left of me. There's that contact. The car in the middle gets pushed right into me and that sends me out onto the grass. Nothing I could have done about that. Just wrong place, wrong time. Thankfully though, we were able to get some freebies back. The first at the very next corner. Watch Andrew Priadko. He's going to run it way too hot into the hairpin. Absolutely steaming in there and giving Serge Simon a proper whack. Then we lost Paul Farah. Now I'm not really sure what happened here. There's a little bit of contact with the Audi, but I can't imagine that would have given him too much damage. However, Farah decides to pull over to the grass and let the field by. And then we saw the battle of the BMWs. The number 3, Jochen Koller, getting rear-ended by the number 12, Juan Mariano. Now I think there might have been a bit of afters there that sent Mariano into the wall. And then on the very last corner of this first lap, boy did I have a fright when Jonas Goebel lost control. He's out onto the gravel, comes back on and then spins. Look how close it was to collecting not only me, but Marcus Battaglia in that yellow Ferrari too. Let's watch it from another angle. That's how close I came to having my race ruined. Now, speaking of Marcus Battaglia in that yellow Ferrari behind, watch him in the rearview mirror come in really hot into T1 at the start of lap 2. That gave me another big fright. I felt sure he was going to collect me there. And if we go back to take another look at that first lap incident, we'll see that Battaglia was at the centre of the chaos. It starts when he tries to poke his nose up the inside of the car in front. There's contact that sends him out onto the runoff area. And then as he's rejoining, he's going to get clobbered by Goebel. And then by lap 2, he's on the charge. Look how fast he's running into T1 there. He just manages to avoid the rear of my BMW. Another lucky escape for me there. Still on lap 2, and I'm going to get another big fright from Battaglia behind. Watch him in the rearview mirror. At this point, I don't think he's going to make a move, but then he suddenly goes for it up the inside. At the last possible moment, I have to correct my line so that there's no contact. And in the end, I decide I think I'll feel safer with Battaglia in front of me. Here's a replay of the pass. He leaves it really late to decide to make that lunge. I'm already turning into the corner when he decides to go for it, and at that point I decide to back out of it. He can have the position. I want to live to fight another day. Lap 3 now, and I thought Battaglia would have the pace to make a break for it, but that's not been the case. Now, admittedly, he may be being held up by the cars in front, but at the moment, I'm having no problem in sticking with that yellow Ferrari. Now, I've been studying him over the course of the last lap, and he seems to be very fast into corners, but very slow out of them. We saw firsthand how fast he was throwing that car into T1 a lap ago. And that is putting me off the idea of trying to move of my own into T1. Even though we've picked up a tow and we're carrying a lot of extra speed, I decide just to lift off the throttle slightly to stay behind him in the hope that he's going to go in hot and be slower on exit, and that's exactly what's happened. We were able to get on the gas far earlier, which means much more exit speed, enough to pull alongside up the inside. This is going exactly according to plan. And that Porsche on the outside might do us an extra favour because Battaglia's got nowhere to go. He's going to try and get back onto the racing line, but we're just far enough ahead to stick our elbows out and make the pass. Well, we needed to be aggressive there. I didn't want to get bullied out of that position. But look how fast he is into the corner again. There's almost contact. You know what? I'm wondering if I might have been safer had I stayed behind. So I really need to gap this guy quickly. I feel like a sitting duck at the moment, and so it proves. We've been pushed out onto the gravel. Oh, that move felt way over the top. We're going to have to go back and check out a replay to look at it again. Well, we've had several close shaves already with Battaglia behind me. It did make me hesitant about making this move, but I knew how slow he was out of corners, so I thought it was a risk worth taking. Now, there's a good chance he may have been put out about my move up the inside into the hairpin. It was fairly aggressive. I'm not quite alongside at the moment, but I forced my way alongside to be sure that I can make the pass. But as for the incident in the next corner, was it a payback punt for that, or was it just a case of him having more speed than me and getting caught out? It looks a really rough move. In my defence, I'd already adjusted my braking to account for the Porsche right in front of me, but we're riding on board with Battaglia now. He comes in so fast. Oh, I don't know, what do you guys think? Was he too aggressive there, or did I bring that on myself by braking too early? Well, by the time I dusted myself down, I was almost 2 seconds adrift, but look to the left, we are going to get one position back. That's Ferrozo Shepherd going out onto the gravel. However, we've got two big problems to contend with following that shunt. The first one is in the rearview mirror. Andrew Priadko has closed right in that BMW. The second one is the rear end damage that I picked up. Marcus Battaglia hit us really hard when he attempted that overtake, and as a result, the car is far more difficult to handle now. And if it's rear aero damage, as I suspect it is, we're going to have less downforce, and cornering is going to be a problem. And already we're finding it. We get a real slide on into T1, struggling to get this car through this section, and now I just can't get anywhere near the apex. This is going to be an open invitation for Andrew Priadko to get through. Look at him up the inside. Priadko's not going to need to be asked twice. He moves up to 21st position. That puts us down to 22nd. This isn't looking good at all. So we gained a position, then we lose a position. The position gained was Ferrozo Shepherd. This is him trying to move up the inside of this tight left-hander, and he just gets his nose wiped, which causes him to spin out. Now, probably didn't cause him any damage, but I think he just had enough by this point. When he rejoined, he decided to pull over into the gravel and call it a day. Meanwhile, I was still trying to get to grips with how my car was handling after that shunt a lap ago. Look how wide I am here, and Andrew Priadko dives up the inside to snatch 21st. We're rejoining the live action at the start of lap 7. Now, Priadko has gone around the Porsche of Miguel Aguero and is making a break for it. I may not be able to keep up with Priadko, but I am reeling in that Porsche. But I'm staying down in third gear for a while longer exiting this section. It's helping me stick to that apex and be a little bit quicker. And you can see how we're closing in on Miguel Aguero now. I have a little look up the inside just to see if he leaves me space. He doesn't. But I'm feeling fairly confident that I've got the pace to get around this Porsche. I just need the right opportunity. Oh, again, we get a little bit of a slide on entering that left-hander. That's going to cost us some speed on exit. That'll give Miguel Aguero a tenth or two. The yellow flags came out briefly. Now we've got a white flag. There's a slow car ahead somewhere. I can't see where yet. There is a cloud of dust ahead on the right, so we can't be far away from him. There is a car rejoining, and it looks like the pole position man, Davi Menezes. So what has happened to Menezes? He's binned it trying to rejoin, so that has given us a position. We're up to 21st, and Miguel Aguero runs in a little bit too hot into this left-hander. We poke our nose up the inside to see if there's a gap, but we're nowhere near quick enough exiting that corner to pull alongside. However, we are going to put this Porsche driver under some pressure now. And we're only halfway through the race. I feel like I'm driving pretty well, but we're not even in the top 20. I'm trying not to get too disheartened, but I've clearly not got the pace or the skill to match a lot of the guys on this grid. There's a car going into the pits, though. It looks like a red Ferrari, and it's Alphonse Ruff. So we will be in the top 20 ending this 7th lap. And it looks like I'm carrying a lot more speed down this start-finish straight than Miguel Aguero. Look how quickly we're reeling in that Porsche. I'm going to move to the inside. Now, is he going to leave a space, or is he going to slam the door? He slams the door. So Miguel Aguero isn't going to give up this 19th position without a battle, nor should he. But if I can just get a good run out of this turn and a little bit of toe, I may be able to replicate the pass that I made a few laps ago. We switch to the inside. Can we get alongside Miguel Aguero? Yes, we can. We make the pass stick, so that puts us up into 19th position. So let's check out the replay to see what happened to the pole position man, Davi Menezes, in that Porsche, because he was in all sorts of trouble when we passed him. Oh, he's been wiped out by a spinning Ferrari. On board with Menezes now. He had so little time to react. There's the red Ferrari out of control, and wham, what a T-bone. And that answers my second question as to what happened to Alfonso Ruff and why he had to pit for repairs. That's where the damage was caused, right there. And that incident gave me 2 positions, but the 3rd place that I gained I had to work for. I had a look up the inside into T1, but Miguel Aguero wasn't having it. He closed the door. However, I was able to carry a lot more exit speed. Now, I'd already pulled off this pass once earlier in the race when I overtook Marcus Battaglia, so I was keen to try and do it again. I get a bit of a toe, move to the inside. At this point, we're alongside the Porsche, and we've got the job done, even before we reach the apex. Returning to the live action at the start of lap 10, we've been able to gap Miguel Aguero. He's 2.3 seconds behind now as the white flag comes out. There's been an instant ahead. We've lost one driver, so that's going to promote us up to 18th. And there's another car rejoining. We're just going to see him creep into shot now, and it's Marcus Battaglia. Battaglia, who we had that clash with earlier in the race, has got into some more bother here. It would be good if we could get our own back and snatch that position back off him, but sadly I don't think we're quite close enough. But let's check out the replay to see what caused the incident. It's a battle down the start-finish straight between Raul Plaza and a Ferrari on the inside, making a move past the number 4 Porsche of Carlos Araújo. Then there's contact. Plaza just couldn't get that Ferrari stopped. He ran off track. When he rejoined, he collided with Araújo and pushed him out onto the gravel. Now Araújo's got dirty tyres, he can't control it, and he runs into Battaglia. Here it is from another view. Watch the blue Porsche out of control, slides into the Ferrari and pushes Battaglia onto the grass. He can't save it. And yeah, as I suspected, I wasn't quite close enough to Battaglia to be able to make a challenge. In fact, I wasn't quick enough to even stick with them. So by the end of the race, even though I managed to reel in Henny Otto in the Aston Martin slightly, we weren't able to gain any more positions. We crossed the line in 18th. So yeah, another disappointment in ACC. I just haven't got the speed, skill or experience in this sim to be able to compete, and as a result, there we are, down in 18th position. Sure, I felt a little bit hard done by in that instant with Marcus Battaglia in the early going, but ultimately I don't think that had any bearing on the outcome of this race. I finished where I deserved to finish. And I'd love to hear what you guys thought of that incident as well. Let me know your views on it and what you thought of the race in general. And if you haven't had enough of watching me struggle in the Assetto Corsa Competizione, you may want to check out the video on screen now. Thank you ever so much for watching, and sorry again that I can't bring you a competitive race in ACC. I'll keep trying. Catch you later. Cheers.